Coming up on today's After News, Drew McIntyre disgusted by Clash at the Castle ending.
Chad Gable's WWE contract. What's going on? We'll tell you.
NXT superstar Backlash against the UFC Apex.
And Becky Lynch already teasing her WWE return.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Michael Hamflett.
And this is the After News. Drew McIntyre disgusted Hamflett.
Disgusting! It was 1 year.
At Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
Not this year's, at least not yet.
No.
And not with the way things went down. He probably was a bit pissed off with the way things went down with Roman and Solo Sikoa debuting, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about what happened after that. Drew McIntyre has been chatting to metro.co.uk all about 2022 Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
And he's not best pleased with how things went down with Tyson Fury. I'll just read what he said here regarding his sing-along to close the show, which of course he didn't think they were still live, did he?
No, a lot of confusion reigned there, whether they were on air, whether they weren't.
I remember watching that back.
The words to big anthems, there was just a lot of confusion.
Yeah, what was it? Was it Sweet Caroline with I can't remember the verse. Let's just get to the chorus.
A long old run up to the chorus.
Because I remember watching that and going, what the hell's going on, guys?
Like 50,000 people in a building, you're like, should we be seeing this? Oh, yeah.
Drew said, that was BS. We actually can get it right this time. I'd rather take 10 punches from Fury. Also, they're pillow fists, so that'd be easier.
Wow.
But I'm never singing again. I just did what I felt was right at the time and tried to make people happier, even though I was clearly disgusted myself. It's one of my biggest regrets singing that song. The thing is, if the show ends and that's just a treat for you guys, it's fine, really, isn't it? Like
Treat's doing a lot of heavy lifting there, but yeah.
it's an attempt at least to send the fans home happy, I suppose.
Yeah, it's such a strange energy that was. Like, compounded by the fact that nobody could tell if it was on air or off air, including the talents in the ring. It did feel like, at best, like a house show adjacent attempt to give people something to cheer about as they left. Just send a heel out there from a Claymore.
Yeah.
That would have been my take on it. Like Tyson Fury's brief involvement in the ending of that match notwithstanding, it was just a very odd atmosphere. He had lost.
He chinned Austin Theory, didn't he?
Yeah, he had lost. And look, I defended the booking at the time. I was cheering for Roman Reigns' victory until I decided very smartly to sit down and stop cheering. But nonetheless,
I would if I'd have been there.
There's video footage of me exist doing that, I believe. I think in tribute to your inability to make that show.
What was I doing? I was on a stag, that was it.
That's fair enough, yeah. I was going to say it wasn't as good as Clash, but I don't know. Probably was just as good.
It was. Trust me.
It was just...
From what I remember, anyway.
If anything. A very, very surreal experience. I imagine people that are in the comments that might have been at the show can share theirs as well. And indeed, watching at home, the atmosphere just completely dropped off because there was no...
It was a great show, obviously, before that.
What was seen very much as a turning point in WWE's pivoting away from the Vince McMahon era into what we'd kind of become, confident as saying the Triple H era, despite, little tinkerings from Vince here and there. But, luckily for Drew, this is one of the situations where I should probably thank CM Punk because the very next night we had a Brawl Out. So not many people were talking about Drew and Tyson Fury within 24 hours of that. So maybe you owe the Punker one. Maybe you could thank him should he appear in Glasgow. I'm sure he won't get in amongst your business or in the mix at all. We shall see.
No Judgment Day interference.
I love this as promo for this year's Clash at the Castle as well, as if he's got Drew McIntyre is never short of wrongs that he needs to right, is he? And this is just like another one added to the list. He was in Wales, where he was asked to pretend that it was kind of where he was from, singing an England World Cup / Euros anthem. I can kind of understand his frustration. This, in Glasgow, feels very different.
Yes. Oh, it's going to be amazing this year. I'm so excited.
A furnace.
It's going
to be a furnace.
The Drew. Sorry, everyone.
Switching gears to Chad Gable.
What's going on?
What is going on? Chad Gable set to wrestle Sami Zayn and will wrestle Sami Zayn at Clash at the Castle in Glasgow this Saturday. But that isn't to say that his contract is all signed and sealed, despite all the reasons to believe it would be the case. This is from Fightful Select, so, a fairly reliable source on this one. Obviously, we've talked ad nauseum at this point about Gable's contract, Natalya, Becky Lynch. Just everybody seems to be going to the wire or indeed not re-signing. And there's a bit of murmuring at the moment that wrestlers are working on per-date deals while these contracts get renegotiated. It's quite remarkable. Yeah. From Fightful Select, I'll just read the quote. It says, Fightful Select learned recently that Gable's WWE contract was originally set to expire on June the 7th. However, by the 3rd of June Raw, he was already announced for Clash at the Castle. That 7th date is obviously now passed. While many have assumed that means he's re-signed, we haven't confirmed that yet, although we have inquired with WWE officially, so there is nothing out there. Not that I guess anything of this needs to be reported, but the best reporters in the game can't find this out as fact, so one can assume off that nobody is feeding this information out there. Quote, there have been other performers who saw their deals come up recently and claimed to other companies that they've been on a per appearance basis, but we've heard nothing about that from Gable. Sources within WWE and AEW assume he's re-signed, or at very least assume he's remaining with the company. There were talent pushing for him to join AEW, and we're told he was being heavily discussed backstage last week. It's fascinating, isn't it? Like per date appearances, the idea that there's this sort of middle period where talent are working potentially with the freedom to go anywhere, but doing things on the, something only more slightly financially heavier than a handshake. It's like uncharted waters for WWE particularly to be sort of tiptoeing in at this point.
Imagine on Saturday he beats Sami Zayn. Heads out the door. I love it.
As a shoot.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where I've no doubt AEW would have wanted him there.
Yeah.
They working on the presumption he's going to re-sign, but I'm sure questions have been asked because it's Chad Gable who wouldn't want to have him. The way they've booked him, obviously, and featured him heavily, one would assume WWE have re-signed him. Then again, I remember watching Cody Rhodes cut a promo in AEW once and went, well, he's obviously going to just re-sign, so nothing is guaranteed in this business.
Cody kind of changed the rules in every respect in that move, didn't he? Because we watched that AEW promo, yeah, right, Cody, get the contract signed, see you fighting at Double or Nothing or whatever. And then he turns about wrestling, like, he starts getting teased for WrestleMania. Yeah, but he won't actually do it. And if he does, it certainly won't be the American. He's come with his entire music, his entire character, he's probably going to win the belt, great. Like, that did just change the rules on everything. As part of this era of the two sort of mainstream companies, that was another huge pivot point, wasn't it? So
interesting to see, what the wrangling's over with Chad Gable. Obviously, presumably a financial number.
Yeah.
But possibly even booking, because he had a rough time of quite some time in WWE. They've righted that course over the last year or so easily.
What was the Shawn Michaels quote at the house show sometimes that Shorty G could say is, "I'm 7 foot tall and I'm stood on my wallet." That's what Chad Gable should be going for at this point.
Yeah, I assume he's going to be sticking around, and maybe they're going to work this into a storyline. Who knows? But obviously there's been no real mention of it on WWE. They just keep booking him, assuming he's still going to be there.
I hope they strap him up on Saturday.
I do. I love Sami Zayn. I think his IC title win was one of the highlights of WrestleMania 40, but it feels right. And Chad Gable and the Creed brothers makes me feel things.
Oh my God.
Right, let's talk about NXT Battleground, which of course went down at the UFC Apex over the weekend. Not everyone was best pleased with it. This comes from WrestleVotes, who tweeted, while thankfully nothing came of it, I'm told a handful of superstars were unhappy with the floor spacing around the ring last night at the UFC Apex. This was yesterday, obviously. Around the ring last night at the UFC Apex for Battleground, it was noticeably tighter than at standard WWE NXT events. See, they were crammed in there. They showed, obviously, how they reworked the Apex to accommodate the PLE, but I can understand their frustrations at the same time.
It's drawn pretty much every reaction, the UFC Apex, isn't it? There's been some, and I kind of get this take. I had quite a good time with it as a layout as far as shows go.
It was cool having all the Valentina Shevchenko and people like that there.
Yeah, there was just a sense that, again, NXT is still such a Florida-based TV studio show that it is still, it just feels different when they're out and about on tour. And there was just a certain energy, I think, from being in Vegas as well. But I do sort of sympathise with the wrestlers, specifically about the space around the ring. There was also some reasonable points made that aesthetically, sort of by accident, it ended up looking quite a lot like the Performance Centre space these on Tuesday nights as well, I guess because of how they had to set it up. So it does make you wonder if this will just be a one and done, or if there was other smart business reasons to have it taking place in this UFC hotbed.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a TV there.
TKO, they're making NXT a TV touring brand again.
Axiom, Nathan Fraser were wrestling Wesley.
Did you see them out on the strip with their belts, by the way?
Yeah, people like that are going to want the space, aren't they? Sorry.
They went out on the strip with their belts afterwards. Axiom and Nathan Fraser was walking the streets. Axiom was in his mask. They both had the title belts. They went past a bus that had the Rock on at one point. It was like, there's our boss! They were videoing pictures.
I can't watch it because I want to be there.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, please let me in.
And if I went there, where could I stay?
Probably at the beautiful Oyo Hotel and Casino. That is, of course, in Las Vegas, Nevada. $2 blackjack. $1 blackjack.
What?
$2 beers?
Oh my God.
Across 3 or 4 separate bars with a great function room at the back that'd be perfect for a What Culture live show. You'd be mad not to stay there. Well, the hotels are available if they don't DM me soon. Last story today takes us to another potentially out of contract, in contract star in Becky Lynch. The first teaser that potentially she is going to be back with WWE sooner rather than later dropped on her Twitter account when she posted her own version of the Narcos meme of Pablo Escobar sort of looking verklempt, staring into space, looking at
Forlorn waiting, isn't he?
Yeah, lost with life, and it was her basically reenacting all of those poses from her official account with a simple tagline saying "Must be Monday." Of course, the old WWE slogan that she used to be front and centre of. She's been name checked in various things with Lyra Valkyria, with Liv Morgan. So it was always felt as though when she did sign somewhere, it would be back on familiar territory with WWE. But now her going out of her way to acknowledge the link and that she's maybe missing what she would typically be doing on a Monday night says a lot, I guess.
The biggest female wrestler contract ever, I heard rumours of.
Yeah, that was what was being discussed, wasn't it? That was a figure they were trying to land upon, and maybe that's already been landed upon.
Yeah.
Would she be talking about this unless she herself knew a return wasn't forthcoming? No information beyond that, obviously, other than Becky Lynch posting memes. But I've kind of missed the days where Becky Lynch posting a meme was newsworthy.
Yeah.
This takes me back to 2018, a very different time. So maybe a bit more free agency for Becky Lynch allows a patter like this on the timeline.
Yeah, I know we're in the business of reporting this sort of thing, but I like being kept in the dark for when Becky Lynch returns. A bit like with Rhea Ripley and Roman Reigns. I want that surprise pop along with the fans of that shock.
It's going to be a big one.
Return. Yeah, I would assume again, like with Chad Gable, that they've re-signed her and just not, had The Rock tweet about giving her a sword or something. So
give it time.
I appreciated this though. It is one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes when if you have a day off work or whatever, and when we're very lucky to have these jobs, so when I'm off, I do sort of think, boys are probably going in to record the Raw right now.
Yeah, I'm straight on Spotify downloading just in case I've missed anything. And as you should be too, by the way, including our Battleground review along with Raw review and NXT previews. That's just one day content.
Chock-a-block
sort
today.
Of stuff every day, wherever you get your podcasts, or indeed on the What Culture Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel.
That's a Narcos meme, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's on my to-do.
We'll ask our brilliant editor Ryan to throw the images up, by the way.
Yes.
He's a good egg like that. And like me, if you have absolutely no clue where the original one came from, you'll be able to see it online.
Yeah, I was only sort of vaguely aware of the meme because I'm currently watching a really good TV show that I'd highly recommend people check out.
Hot take this.
It's called Breaking Bad.
Sorry, what was that again?
Keep an eye out for that. Walter White up to his bloody tricks.
Oh, I'll have to give that a look. Cult favourite, is it?
Some people say I'm slightly behind the curve on this one. But,
Storms at the office and goes, lads, The Wire. Ever heard of it?
That's another one on the list. I really should.
You're right.
Time more wisely.
You will love.
So just you and I rewatching the WrestleMania 40 press conference.
I cannot wait for you to just kick the office door in me like, right, I'm enjoying the Sopranos thing, but I think it's ripping off a lot of my favourite things from NXT.
What I'm really hoping for is a big explosive ending to close out the show. I'm really let's just finish.
Where's somebody's dad in a cage? Skip.
Anyway, if you're wondering where the Twitter questions are, they're on the morning news. Go and check them out right now. In fact, you can check it out on this video right here. Bye.